Hello and good evening students and welcome to Byjus Exam Prep IAS. So before we take a look at the daily quiz for today, here is a very important announcement for all of you. We are approaching the third phase of our target prelims. Now these videos of the third phase, they will be available for free on our YouTube channel. The 22 information filled sessions, they will be conducted live from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. So do not forget to mark your calendar and attend these sessions for getting a very good score in your prelims this year. So our first question is, identify the disease. The disease causes the early death of the red blood cells. The government of India introduced a mission to eliminate the disease by 2047. Options are leukemia, yaws, sickle cell disease and thalassemia. Now just by elimination method, you can say that leukemia, it is a type of cancer. Yaws, which has already been eliminated from India, it is actually a bacterial infection affecting the skin, bone and cartilage. Now sickle cell disease and thalassemia, they are both majorly genetic diseases which are related to blood and are associated with anemia. Now both these diseases, they cause a change in the way the body produces hemoglobin. In thalassemia, the production of hemoglobin gets reduced, and in sickle cell disease, a new type of hemoglobin known as hemoglobin S is produced that leads to changing of the shape of red blood cells from normal circular to sickle cell type. So that is why this leads to an early death of the red blood cells. We have taken this question because after a struggle of 20 years, Dr. Ramesh Katre has finally succeeded, because now the University Grant Commission has requested all the higher educational institutions across the country to consider including a chapter on this condition. So over here, you know that C is the correct answer, and the government of India in this year's budget, 23-24 budget, has declared introduction of a mission specifically targeted on sickle cell disease to eliminate the disease by the 100th year of our independence, that is 2047. The next question is, how many of the following statements are true? Only the Supreme Court of India has the power to issue writs. Quo warranto cannot be issued against a ministerial office. This feature of issuing writs has been borrowed from the American or USA Constitution. We have taken this question because an NGO, Association for Democratic Reforms, has moved to the Supreme Court against the appointment of Mr. Arun Goyal as an election commissioner. According to ADR, that is Association for Democratic Reforms, this appointment is arbitrary and violative of institutional integrity and independence of the election commission, which is a very integral part of any democracy all across the world. Now the Supreme Court, it has the authority that it can or cannot issue the quo warranto writ against this particular case. Now over here, the first statement says that only Supreme Court has the power to issue writs. However, this is wrong. Article 32 does give Supreme Court the power to issue the writs. However, Article 226 also gives the same power to the high courts of the country. Moreover, under Article 32, the Parliament of India, it has the power to grant any Court of India the power to issue writs. So this is incorrect. Now the quo warranto writ, the literal meaning of which is by what authority or warrant. Now this writ is issued by the courts to prevent illegal usurpation of a public office by a person. So through this writ, the court inquires into the legality of a claim of a person to a public office. So we are talking about public office of permanent character that has been created by a statute or by the constitution. So this type of writ, it cannot be issued against any private or a ministerial office. So this is a correct statement. This is also a wrong statement. This feature has not been borrowed from America. It has actually been borrowed from the British or the English law, over where it is known as prerogative writs. So usually when we associate any power related to courts, we always go to American Constitution. However, in this case, it is incorrect. So a correct answer over here is A. The next question is, how many of the following statements are true? A positive Indian Ocean dipole can neutralize the effect of El Nino. A positive IOD is experienced when the Western Indian Ocean basin is warmer than the Eastern basin. IOD is also known as Indian Nino. We took this question because recently the IMD, it gave a forecast on this year's southwestern monsoons, and according to them, we'll have 96% of the historical long period average of rainfall between June to September. Now we know that this year has also been predicted as an El Nino year. El Nino years, they are usually associated with lower amount of rainfall, but according to IMD, this will be neutralized by a positive Indian Ocean dipole. Now what is Indian Ocean dipole? Indian Ocean dipole, it is the Indian Ocean counterpart of the ENSO in Pacific Ocean. So it is also known as Indian Nino. Now in this, what is calculated? We calculate the temperatures of the Western Indian Ocean basin and the Eastern Indian Ocean basin. If the Western basin's temperature is higher than the Eastern basin, then this is a positive IOD. When the Western basin's temperature is less than the Eastern basin, it is a negative IOD. And when these are equal, it is a neutral condition. Now in case of a positive IOD, a better rainfall is experienced in the western portion of the Indian Ocean, including that in India. In the negative phase, a better rainfall is experienced in the eastern portion of the Indian Ocean. So out of these, this is correct, this is also correct, and this is also correct. So our correct answer over here is C. The next question is, how many of the following statements are true regarding the Uttiramerur inscription in news lately? It is a Chola period inscription located in the state of Tamil Nadu. It talks about the economy of the time and the booming business relations between India and Southeast Asia. Now we took this question because the Prime Minister of the country, who was speaking at the Tamil Nadu year celebrations, he talked about this particular inscription. So that's why this becomes important. Also, the history optional students, do not forget to mark this location in your maps. So this inscription, it is located in the state of Tamil Nadu in a temple known as Vaikunda Perumal Temple, which was built by a Pallava ruler, that is Nandi Varman II. Now this temple, it is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. However, please note that this particular inscription was not by the same king. It was by a later king, that is Parantaka Chola I, who ruled between 907 to 955 AD. So this information again becomes very important. Now what is mentioned in this inscription? This inscription mentions about the local self-governments in the villages at that time. So this proves that India has been a pioneer in the concept of democracy since a long time. In this inscription, it is detailed how the members were selected, what were the qualifications that were needed for the members to be selected, what are their roles, their responsibilities, and how can they be removed in what all circumstances. So over here, this is correct. Yes, it is a Chola period inscription. This, however, is incorrect. It is not about the economy of the time. It is about the self-governments. Now, during the Chola time, we did have good relations with Southeast Asia, and we also were able to conquer certain portions of Southeast Asia. In the comments, can you tell us what were those regions which were conquered and which ruler was responsible for that? However, over here, our correct answer is A. Next is a PYQ. In the context of which of the following do some scientists suggest the use of Cirrus cloud thinning technique and the injection of sulfate aerosol into the stratosphere? Now, aerosols, they are associated with what? Cooling. because aerosol particles, they lead to diffusion of the sunlight that is coming to the earth. So when the sunlight, instead of falling directly on the ground, it followed slanted manner, then what happens? The amount of heat it carries, it also reduces. So however, let us take a look at the options and try to understand whether it is related to cooling. Creating the artificial rains in some regions, reducing the frequency and intensity of tropical cyclones, reducing the adverse effects of solar wind on Earth, reducing the global warming. Now, global warming and cooling, can these be associated? So, actually the correct answer is indeed D. Now, aerosols in the stratosphere will definitely help in cooling of the Earth. How will the cirrus clouds help with the same? Now the cirrus clouds, they are a high altitude clouds located approximately 10 km above the Earth's surface. They are also responsible for trapping the heat that goes from the Earth outside. So they trap the terrestrial radiations which help in keeping the Earth warm. Now when they are thinned, they will allow more heat to escape into the space, thereby leading to cooling of the planet. So D is our correct answer. Now these approaches, these technologies, they are being explored a lot in the view that we might breach our 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade heating targets in the upcoming few years. So that is why these techniques, they become very important for the upcoming mains and the prelims exams. Next we have the fact of the day, which is about MAHARISHI. Now, India has proposed this MAHARISHI plan under the MAX meeting that is going on in Varanasi right now. Now, under this MAX meeting, that is meeting of agricultural chief scientists, all the chief scientists of the G20 countries, and apart from that, representatives from international organizations like United Nations, IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, World Health Organization, World Trade Organization, International Labour Organization, and so on, they have been invited. Now, what is MAHARISHI? It is Millets and Other Ancient Grains International Research Initiative. Now, India will propose this initiative that will help in increasing the research collaborations between the member countries and generate awareness about millets and other ancient grains, because this year we are celebrating the International Year of Millets. So the government of India is trying to promote the demand of these millets across a lot of forums and platforms. Now India is the biggest producer of millets in the world. Apart from that, millets being very hardy crops requiring not much investment or inputs, they are usually cultivated by farmers in the developing and the underdeveloped world. So promotion of the demand of millets and promotion of collaborative research in this field, it can help the farmers of these countries get better incomes. So this will be a win-win situation. The people will be able to receive healthy grains and the farmers, they will be able to receive better incomes. So that is all about the fact of the day. I hope you were able to understand all the concepts. So do not forget to like the video, share it and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such updates. Thank you very much and have a very good day ahead.